I hope you all doing well today. This is our second webinar on DevOps from Learnomate Technology. Learnomate Technology is a software training institute which provide IT related courses. We have current two branch in Pune and one branch in Hyderabad. So we will start today's session on DevOps plus AWS session.
Is my screen visible now? So basically we will start with the AWS and will you please we will start with AWS, and so before that we will learn about the different types of cloud that we are having, and we will learn about what is cloud mostly. So cloud is on-demand delivery of IT resources with pay-as-you-go pricing. And the resources which we are talking about within the cloud, these are mostly compute, networking, databases, security, domains. So on-demand delivery of IT resources means whenever you should have requirement, these resources are available, and these are from the data centers. Data centers which added as a geographical location, and different type of geographical locations are present within AWS. If you are going to check for right side corner of AWS console, you will get idea for the AWS regions which are present in AWS environment. Then we are going with the pay-as-you-go pricing as a electricity bill. Suppose you are consuming electricity bill, whatever electricity you are consuming, you are getting billed for it as a pay-as-you-go pricing. Same for IT resources. When we are having compute, networking, database, security type of resources from AWS console, you will get billed after 1 month of using it. So that's pay-as-you-go pricing. That is on a subscription level. So first of all, I will let you know why we are learning AWS. So as per the Magic Quadrant of Strategic Cloud Platform Services, it's a research paper, white research paper by the Gartner. Gartner is a research media, and the paper has been published recently in 2023. And as per this white paper, which has been came into the conclusion via various surveys and from the input from the researchers, we can say that AWS is a market leader right now. And after that, we are having Microsoft, then GCP, then we are having Oracle Cloud Platform. And the IBM Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, Hawaii Cloud, and Tencent Cloud, these are the niche players now. And as we come to the leaders tab, here you can see that AWS is a market leader. So that when you are working on AWS, you will have more opportunities as a career level. So as per these services that we will practice, but before learning about these cloud services, you should have some knowledge about networking concepts. In networking concepts, you should know various ports numbers and OSI model. So OSI model, which is 7-layer OSI model. Then you should have some knowledge about Linux commands, as the 99% servers are of Linux operating system. There are various distributions of Linux. We call it as distros, out of which you must have heard about Ubuntu or Debian type of Linux, then Red Hat type of Linux. So here we are having Red Hat, CentOS, Fedora, which are RPM packages Linux. Also, we can have SUSE Linux as well. So on a production level, most of the cases, we are going through the Red Hat Linux, as different companies are partnered with. But this type of Debian type of servers are also available in the industry on a Linux type of servers. So you should have networking concepts background, Linux commands background, and operating system. background. So in case of operating systems, when you are learning on a AWS, we will mostly hands-on with Windows servers 2012, 2016, 2022. These are the distributions in case of Windows servers. And in case of Linux, you are having Ubuntu, Debian type of OS, Red Hat OS, Fedora OS, SUSE Linux, CentOS as well. So first service that we will learn within AWS, that is EC2, which is used for launching virtual machines. The full form of EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud. So we are keeping E from Elastic, C from Compute, and C from Cloud. All together, you can have EC2. Now, using EC2 service, you are launching different virtual machines. So if, suppose I'm running an organization. So for running an organization, we have two types of expenditures. First, we are having CapEx. Second, we are having OpEx. So capital expenditure and operational expenditure, these are the two expenditures. And on the both cases, we have to save the money. So that's why we come to the solution that is cloud. So rather than buying physical computers, we are investing on a capital expenditure, operational expenditure. We have to consume electricity. We have to consume for a lot more things on operations level as well. So here we can have virtual machines, that is EC2 service from AWS, and we are saving this cost. So for physical computers, suppose you are investing 50 to 60,000 per unit. Here for EC2 type of virtual machine, it will only cost up to the 5,000 rupees if you are going with minimum configurations for the year. So here you are directly saving 45,000 per year if you are selecting virtual machines over the physical machines. So you can relate regarding this, and a lot more things are there. It's not like you will only have virtual machines type of services in AWS. We will have storage type of services. We will have networking type of services. We will have a lot more databases that we can handle in AWS environment. And these are the managed services that we will have. For using AWS service, AWS account opening should be there. So you can open AWS account with the help of one debit card or credit card, one email ID, and one phone number or any cell number. So these are the key credentials which are required for using AWS account. The official website for using AWS account, that will be aws.amazon.com. Here you can navigate for this particular .com and you can sign up for the first time. Right now, I'm just showing you aws.amazon.com where you can go with the sign up process. I'm also entering this URL in the chat box. So here you can navigate for this particular tab. I'm just opening it in incognito mode. Here you can navigate to create an account and you can go with the sign up process. And there are two types of account. One is root account and another one is employee account. So employee account that has been created by the employer, and root account that will be organizational account. Only single account will be there, and this is used for the billing purpose. So when you will practice on AWS account, you will sign up for root account, and sometimes you will behave. You will practice from the root account, and from the root account itself, you will try to practice by creating IAM accounts, and you can sign into them. Then you can add different roles and some permissions, and then you can use IAM accounts as well. So for signing up, you can select root account details over here. Then you can enter your email ID, you can verify it, you can enter your debit card details, you can verify the same, and your account will be activated within 24 hours. So AWS service, which is available for you 24/7, availability is there. You can use it from anywhere, anytime. Bill will be generated after a 1 month with pay-as-you-go pricing. Here you will get some free credits as well, or you can have a free tier. So for few services, you will have free tier. So there is official web page is also there, which will show you free tier eligibility and other details. I'm just showing you free tier, AWS free tier details. Just a sec. This is official page for AWS free tier, where you can get 12 months of free service for few resources. If you are using EC2 service, which will be available for 750 hours. SP service, that is on a storage level, which will provide you 5 GB of storage. This is database service, that is RDS, which is available for 750 hours. A lot more services are there. You can check it on a different product category. Now I'm in a AWS console. Now for AWS console, we will have different regions, as I have told you. So if you're checking for right hand side, here you can see that these are the different regions which are available. These are more than 22 plus regions are there, depending on the geographical locations. And this has been considered as a group of data centers. So if you're selecting any particular region, any selected data center will have your workloads, and then you are using it and storing it over there. So if I want to change the data center, I can go with Mumbai data center as well. And suppose my client requirement or my customer requirement for application is up to the another geographical location on a latency level, I can select that one as well, depending on architecture suggestions from architect or administrator. So here now I have selected for US East 1 region. The service that we will try now, that is EC2, which is used for launching of virtual machine. Right now we will practice for launching Linux type of machine, and we will try for SSH connection. So SSH, which stand for secure shell. Here for SSH connection, we can use port number 22. So as I have told you that networking ports knowledge is important. So that will be used in case of connectivity. Suppose I am having Windows type of machine. So I can launch Windows type of EC2 instance, and I can try for RDP connection. So for RDP, 3389 port is being used. Suppose I want to host a website. I can try for any type of instance between this. And for HTTP traffic, we can have port number 80. For HTTPS on a network level, we can have port number 440. So when you are launching any virtual machine, you need to define a security group. Now this security group, which will be act as a firewall. So suppose I'm allowing port 22, then only I can have SSH connection from outside the network. So here will be my virtual machine. Here will be my security group, and here will be your internet. From the internet, you can have two type of rules. This will be your inbound rule. This will be your outbound rule. We can have inbound rule as well as outbound rule. So in inbound rule, we can have port 22. Then only we can go with the secure shell connection. So I will go with the practicing it. What I can do, I can launch a EC2 instance. Then I will configure security group. In security group, I will go with inbound rule. I will allow port 22. I can allow connection from anywhere or any specific IP as well. Then for connections, here we can have a key pair. This key pair is used for authentication. So I will create a .pm key pair. I can create a .pm key pair in case I am connecting with OpenSSH or terminal. So if I'm going to connect via using PuTTY, which is used on a Windows type of operating system. When you are having connectivity from Windows type of machines, you can go with PuTTY configuration where .ppk key pair can be created and used for authentication. So these are the steps I will follow. I will just go with launching of EC2 instance. I will configure for security group. I will create a key pair. I will use it for SSH connection. The command that I will try, that will be SSH command with -i for identity, then name of machine, username of machine, at public IP or a DNS record for the same. So let's try it. Here I'm navigating for AWS account. I will select for EC2 service now. I will try to launch Linux type of machine. Rather than buying a physical machine, I will go with setting a virtual machine and I will use it virtually. So here I'm clicking on launch instance. I'm naming this as my web server. Then here I'm selecting different OS. Then you can see that different OS are present over here. That is Amazon Linux, which is distribution from Red Hat as well. These are also running Red Hat packages. Then we are having Mac OS, Ubuntu OS, Windows Server 2012, 2016, 2022. Then we are having Red Hat, SUSE Linux, and lot more AMIs, that is Amazon Machine Images are present. AMIs are bundling of OS and software, from which I'm selecting Amazon Linux, which is free when you are using T2 micro type of instance. Now T2 micro type of instance, which is like a chocolate. You are buying a chocolate from the lot more big shop and which is free. So this T2 micro instance, which is only having 1 GB of RAM and 1 CPU core, and it's free for 750 hours. If you are running it for 750 hours, later on it will be charged with pay-as-you-go pricing. Suppose you are launching 10 instances at the same time. It will calculate 75 hours per instance, and collectively it will calculate for 750 hours. So make sure that if you are practicing on AWS, you are terminating it or deleting it after the practice, or you're stopping the instance as well. That will also work for stopping pricing. So now I'm selecting Amazon Linux 2023 T2 micro, which is under free tier to saving the cost as per the practice level. Here I'm creating a key pair, which is for authentication. I'm naming this as my key pair. Now when I'm clicking on create key pair, that will be downloaded to my local machine. I can use it for connections. So here I'm clicking on and I have downloaded my key pair.pm. Here we are having network setting. So as every machine is connected to the network, so in your physical devices settings, you are connecting with Wi-Fi or LAN. Here we are having VPC, that is virtual private cloud, from the data center itself. Subnet is a part of network, and we are going with auto assigning public IP. So with every machine, if there is a public IP, then only we can connect to it from the internet. Else, you can use private IP as well for connections. But right now, I'm going to connect from my physical machine to the virtual machine, which is present in a North Virginia data center. So I need to have a public IP for my virtual machine. And as I have told you, we will have network security group. These are act as a boundary line for the firewall, like a firewall. Here, I will allow SSH traffic so that I can connect from any machines to this instance, which is using port 22 for SSH connection. Also, I can allow HTTP, HTTPS inbound rules, which can be used when you are hosting a website and that can be accessed from the internet. Here for HTTP, we can use port 80, and for HTTPS, we are having port number 443. And at last, I can click on launch instance. So in this way, I have launched a Linux virtual machine with security group for SSH, HTTP, and HTTPS. Now I will try to connect it once it will be in a running state. If you're checking for instance state now, that's in a pending state. After a few seconds, it will be in a running state. So if you can stop the instance which is in the running state. You can start the instance which is in the stop state. You can reboot the instance as well. And after the work, you can terminate it. So when you're terminating it or when you're stopping it, your billing will be stopped. For stopping the instance, still you will charge for the storage level. So here, my instance is in running state. I can select it. I can click on connect. Now I will try for secure shell connection. And for this, I will use PowerShell from my machine. So here, when I'm clicking on SSH client tab, here is the command, that is ssh-i myKeyPair.pm. That will be my key pair. EC2-user, which will be by default username for Amazon Linux. And then we are having DNS record, that is domain name details. And then I'm clicking on, from the downloads tab, I can try to connect it. I can say yes for the connection. So I have to go for downloads tab because my key pair is over there. And from there, I can try for this command. So it will ask whether you want to continue and say yes, and you will be connected to the instance. So this is a fresh instance that we are having. Now, first command that I will try on a Linux, that will be Linux command for updation of machine. So I can go with sudo apt sudo yum. I'm calling for yum packages update -y command for saying yes, and my instance will be updated. Suppose I want to install some packages over here. Suppose I want to install Python. I can go with sudo yum install command. After that, I'm entering name of package and I'm entering -y at last. And in this way, I can install Python for my Linux machine. Suppose you want to check for version for the same. So there you can enter a package name. You can go with -version command after it, and you will get the details. So similar way, you can try for other packages as well. Suppose you want to install Java. How you can install it? You can go with sudo yum install Java command, and you can enter -y. So these packages details are different for different distributions. So no need to remember every time. You can also check for the manuals, and you can check for various websites as well for installation purposes. Now what I will do, I will create one file. So here we can go through the basic Linux commands. So for creating a file, I can go with touch command. So touch space, name of file. Suppose I'm creating a Python file. I can go with name of file as a test, and I'm entering a extension, that is py in my case. So I'm entering it. Now for listing of files and folders, you can use ls command, which is basic Linux command. So when I'm entering ls, you can see that test.py has been created. So for editing any file, you can use IDE. And in Linux, you can use Nano or Vim. So Nano is my favorite. I can go with installation of Nano now. So for installing Nano, I can go with sudo yum install Nano. So Nano is present in my system. So if I want to check for version, I can go with nano space -- version command. And you can see that Nano is present. Now I will edit this file using Nano. For this, I will call for package that is Nano. So Nano space name of file that will edit this file. Now here I can go with adding some code. I can go with print statement. I'm adding hello world message over here. That's a very basic practice. You can try it at home. So here I'm creating hello world message to be print, and I'm saving this with Control S, exiting it with Control X. Now I will try to run this file. So I can go with Python space name of file that is test.py, entering it, and I'm getting the output. So in this way, you can compile any program, you can run it. For compilations, you can use different commands, different coding as well. Okay, that's a basic one. So here I'm creating one directory. So for creating a directory, we can use mkdir command. So I'm going with mkdir space new. Again, I'm going with ls command. Here you can see that one folder has been created and one file has been there. Suppose I want to list hidden folders and files. I can go with ls-la command, and I can get the details of hidden folders files as well. Suppose I want to move any particular file. So I will try for moving this test.py to the folder new. So I can go with mv that is used for moving any file. So I'm going with mv space name of file space name of folder. And now if I'm going with ls, here you can see that only folder is present. Suppose I want to list the contents within folder, I can go with the ls space name of folder, and here you can see that test.py is being present in new folder now. Suppose I want to copy the contents of the file, I can go with cp command, but before this, let's change the directory. So for changing directory, I can use cd command, cd space new, which will change my present working directory. So if I'm checking present working directory with pwd command, I can get the details. I'm in a home folder, then ec2-user, then new folder. So we are having root at start. After root, we are having different folders. There is also home folder, and within home folder, we are having ec2-user is a user home directory. Then we are having new folder that we have created, and within new, we are having a file that test.py. So I have changed a directory using pwd command. And if I'm going with ls command again, you can see that test.py is over there. Suppose I'm creating a new file again. I can go with touch space new file dot py. I want to copy the contents of test file to the new file. I can use cp command for it. So I'm entering cp space name of file, first file, space name of target file. And if you want to check the contents of the file, you can use cat command. So cat space new file dot py, which will list whatever content is present in the file. And here you can see that contents of test.py are being copied to the new file. So in this way, you can work on Linux servers. You can go with various file operations. You can install many packages. You can handle the workloads. And when your work is done on Linux server, you can go with exit command. Still, you will have instance which is in the running state. So you can navigate to your EC2 console after this. You can select for instance. You can select it. You can click on instance state and you can click on terminate. And your billing will be stopped. Your instance will be gone. From the 750 hours, these 30 minutes will be minimized from it together. So this was SSH connection for DNS type of machine. You can also try for SSH connection via using putty tool, but that is on a higher level at the primary practice. Now we will try for launching Windows type of machine, and we will try for RDP connection. So we will launch Windows server, any server we can try. Either you can go with Windows Server 2012, 2016, and 2022. And then you can try for RDP connection. So in security group, you can add inbound rule for this Windows machine, inbound RDP connections, and that port number is 3389. So now I will launch Windows Server with security group having 3389 port. Now, whenever you will try for RDP connection, remote desktop connection, this is my physical computer. From my physical computer, this is the virtual machine which is present in North Virginia. And I'm connecting from my machine to the virtual machine. So here 3389 port will be used, but you need to have a key pair as well. So why using key pair? You will decrypt password. So 3 details are important. One is a DNS record or public IP of machine, of virtual machine. Second thing, you should have a username for the machine. And third thing, you will have a password. Now that password will be generated via using key pair in case of Windows machine. And the key pair type that you need, that will be .pm. You have to remember it. So I will follow these steps. First of all, I will navigate to EC2 console. I will launch instance. I will also configure security group by launching it, or also after the launch also you can configure it. And 3389 port, which is important for RDP connection. Third step, I will try for connection. Here I will upload a key pair, that is .pm file. I will decrypt it, and then I will download RDP file. I will open it. Once I open it, I will enter 3 details, that is username, password, and DNS record. And then I will have RDP connection. So one thing you have to remember within this practice, if you're selecting T2 micro type of instance, it is only providing you 1 GB of RAM. So for Windows machines, if you are having 1 GB of RAM, that's not enough. So I will go with T2 medium type of instance, which is on a higher level than T2 micro, but this is chargeable. So make sure when you will practice for this T2 medium type of instance, you are going to terminate it once you're done with the practice. So that's the important thing for here. So let's try it. So I'm navigating for EC2 console. I will click on launch instance. Here I'm naming this as a Windows server. Then I'm selecting Microsoft Windows operating system. Instance type I'm selecting, that is T2 medium. So I'm going with T2.medium. So whenever you will work in an industry, you are not going to use T2 micro type of install. These are only for the practice purpose. The basic account that you are having, by using it, you can practice, but on a production level, these are not recommended. So here I'm selecting T2 medium. Here I'm also selecting a key pair that is already present in my system, that is my key pair .pm. I'm selecting it. And in network setting, I'm allowing traffic for HTTP, HTTPS, and RDP. RDP connection is important in this practice, so we are allowing it. And at last, I'm clicking on launch instance. Sorry. So when I'm clicking on launch instance, this machine will require to have at least 4 minutes to be ready, so that agents will be installed over there. But sometimes it also takes few seconds only. So now our machine is in running state. I'm clicking on it, clicking on connect. Here RDP client settings are there. Here you have to click on get password, but this machine is new. If I'm clicking on it, I will get the error that I have to wait for 2 minutes. I'm showing you. So here I'm clicking on get password. I'm showing that you have to wait at least for 4 minutes until instance is being ready. So we will wait for a few minutes. So if you're checking the details for remote desktop file, you are having public DNS. So this DNS record is important. You can note it down when you are connecting. Username is administrator, and password will be generated via uploading a key pair. So if you're downloading this remote desktop file, you will only paste the password because it will automatically fetch for username and DNS record. That can save your time. So now I'm clicking on password details. Here I'm clicking on upload private key pair. I'm navigating to my downloads. Here I'm selecting a key pair, clicking on open, clicking on decrypt password. Here I'm copying this password. I will download this RDP file, opening it directly. I will click on connect. Here I'm pasting it. I will click on OK. I will accept the certificate. And in this way, remote desktop connection is successful. It will load machine details. So in remote desktop connection, you will have a user interface in case of Windows machines. But for the Linux type of machines, you will only have SSH connections. Because most of the work in industry that will be done with the command line itself. So that's why for learning cloud to work with the servers, you should have Linux commands expertise. So here you can go with the accepting network settings. Now I will show you how to install few packages in a Windows type of machine. I will go with deployment of web server. And for this, we can use IIS, that is Internet Information Services. It's a package which is used for hosting websites on a Windows type of instances. But for hosting a website, you should have security group settings where you are allowing HTTP and HTTPS traffic. Then only you will get the default web page or web page to be shown. So here I'm going with server manager. So from the server manager setting, I will select for add roles and features. I have to wait for a few seconds more. And then we will go with deployment of IIS, that is Internet Information Services. So here I'm clicking on roles details, and then I'm going with the next button. And the package that we will try, that is web server. So this package, which is important for this practice, that we are going with deployment of web server, selecting it, clicking on next, then going with default setting, clicking on next, and at last, I'm clicking on install. So when I'm going with IIS server deployment, there is one folder that will be created within C drive. So within C drive, you will have inetperf folder. And within inetperf, you will have www root as the folder where you can save your web pages. Also, there will be one default.html page that can be seen from public IP of EC2 instance. You can close this wizard in middle of installation. That is also fine. Here I am minimizing it. And I'm navigating for instances tab. From here, I'm selecting Windows Server. And this one is a public IP. You can copy this and you can paste it in a browser. And you will get default IIS page in a public IP of instance. Suppose you want to host your own website, you can go in remote desktop connection. Here I am navigating for directory. That is iNetwork folder within C drive. So here within C drive, I'm having iNetwork folder where I'm having www root. So I will create one file that is index.html and I will show some message to you. So I'm opening Notepad and I will just have simple header one. And I'm entering message. This is web server. I'm closing this header one. And I'm saving this as index.html within the directory that is iNetwork, www root. And I'm saving this as index.html. I will select save as type as all files. I'm clicking on save. And then I'm checking public IP and you will get your own web page on public IP of instance. In this way, you can do RDP connection. You can have your own website on a Windows server. And now I'm showing you how to terminate this, how to delete all these things. So you can navigate to instances tab. You can click on Windows server, click on instance state, click on terminate. So here our billing will be stopped when we are terminating instances. So you can check for EC2 dashboard after all these things, and you can refresh this. So within the instances, you can see that 2 as the number. So these are the logs that will be deleted after 24 hours. There is no charging for key pairs, security groups. Volume will be detached soon when instance will be fully terminated. So you have to wait for few seconds only, and then volume will be also deleted. So along with Windows machine, you are having 30 GB of volume, and for Linux type of machines, you are having, I think, 7 to 8 GB of volume is being attached. So that's it for today. We have practiced EC2 launching of EC2 instance. We have launched Linux type of machine. We have done SSH connection for it. We have launched a Windows type of machine. We have done RDP connection for it. Also, we have installed IIS web server. And then we have checked for public IP. Also, we have set our own web page over that was index.html, and we have saved it in C drive iNetwork folder. And within iNetwork, we have saved it in a www root directory. Okay, if you're having any doubt, you can ask me. For SSH connection, you can use terminal in case of Linux. In case of Mac, also terminal is there. In case of Windows operating system, in your case, in your physical machine, you can use PowerShell. How to install Windows launch? Windows Launch is a separate tool, or I don't have idea about Windows Launch. I don't think so. The Windows Launch is not a tool. I don't understand your question.
No, that is Windows preferences. It's not an easy to. Okay.
How to?
It is not easy to.
Okay.
It is a Windows. It is Windows. One of the.
No, we are not installing any operating system over there. That will be directly selected from AMI.
Yeah, based on that they asked it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an option in Windows itself, OS itself.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be.
Now, if we are selecting operating system, so operating system updates and patching, all are the responsibility of AWS. We are only responsible for data that we are storing. Yes. Is any other doubt?
So mostly we are going to work in a Linux environment only, right?
Yes, mostly Linux servers are there.
Okay. So this Windows we are not going to use it, right? Just you create an instance
But what happening? There is SLA for a few servers, and they are still in running phase. It's not like that. For few projects also, we need to have Windows servers because so the software's requirements are on an architecture level that has been decided by architects.
So in Linux, we are going to support both Windows application as well as the Linux oriented application, right?
For Linux. Now, if you are using a Linux operating system, most of the softwares are from the open source platforms, and these are available. So there is like open source softwares, which are freely available softwares we can use by using a Linux environment.
No, I'm not telling about this. So we are going to support both .NET application as well as Java application, right? In this, or it is going to be only Java application?
Java.
Yeah, the applications are developed in using .NET.
Yeah. You can go with any type of application installation on Linux environment. We can go with Python, Java, .NET, whatever. Every package is available on Linux.
No, we are going to support both Java.
Yeah, it will support. It will support. Okay, any other doubt? Yes, Python as well. It will support Python as well. I think management will provide to you. They will provide you a recording. Okay, we are stopping here. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for this very informative session. And thank you all of you for joining this session. Just contact on the given numbers for more details. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Welcome.